Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the Shadow Work Tarot reading for the sign of Gemini. Please keep in mind, this is a general reading and it's also timeless. So this may be in relation to events that have already taken place in your recent past, things that are coming up in the near future, things that are occurring in the present, or even much further afield. However, I do feel like you'll receive these messages at a time when you're supposed to hear them. Now, with regards to the spread, I'll be putting one card from each of the three oracle decks here. So we'll start with the Dark Mirror, we'll then move over to the Angelarium, and then we'll wrap up with the Moonology. We'll then get some tarot cards to provide further insight using the Wild Unknown Tarot. So, Gemini, let's get into it. So just while I'm shuffling, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting, subscribing, and even sharing my videos. It means a lot to have your continued support, so thank you so much for doing so. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you're informed of when the readings go live on the channel next. If you would like a personal reading with myself, you can find the information in the description box below, along with the link with my Patreon where you can become a member. There you'll have access to exclusive tarot readings that you will not find anywhere else, as well as spiritual guidance videos and more, so check it out. So, into your reading, Gemini. The card I just pulled from the Dark Mirror deck was Alone in the Wild, right? So this card always speaks of a certain level of vulnerability, right? Feeling exposed, feeling vulnerable, feeling naked, right? In front of the town square, feeling like you've been stripped bare, that there's no mask or any veil to hide behind, right? Everything is out in the open for all to see. So there maybe have been a situation that's made you feel like this occurred recently, or there's a certain connection or individual that you're, communicating with that makes you feel vulnerable, that kind of triggers you to be vulnerable and to expose your innermost secrets or, things about yourself, some deep emotional aspects about yourself that you don't tend to share with others, right? It's something that you tend to keep very close to the chest. So the fact that you're able to speak freely with this person on that level, it can be a bit overwhelming for you because you're feeling very vulnerable and very, naked in that vulnerability. So that's what I'm getting here. So that may trigger some feelings of fear and, anxiety because, you're just feeling extremely vulnerable at this time. So we'll see what insights and guidance we can get from the Angelarium, as well as the synchronistic signs. Okay, I'll take them both because apparently they're supposed to both come out, so I'll just take it. Okay, so the first card that came out was Kita, the Crown, Spirituality. Amazing. So I feel like, part of this vulnerability is perhaps you connecting with this individual is creating some kind of spiritual awakening for you, right? It's awakening certain senses. You're tapping into the astral more. You have your abilities is opening up more as a result of the communication that you're having with a certain individual, right? Because I feel like communication is a big part of this, that from the things you talk about, from getting deep into certain topics, it's triggering you to awaken to certain senses that perhaps you didn't know you have. You are starting to do more work in the astral, whether you're consciously or unconsciously aware of it, right? So that's what I'm getting from this. This is the archetypal energy of that, It's the crown chakra. That's what it's symbolizing. So this is a higher state of awareness. This is, like I say, working with the metaphysical planes of existence, right? Operating at a higher level. So interesting. Next card is Ramiel, Angel of Dreams. So along with this awakening, you may be having visions, right? Oh, Angel of Dreams, Angel of Visions, right? You may be having dreams, to be fair. That's why I mentioned dreams. It could be that you're having some very vivid dreams that make not very much sense, where you're seeing certain signs and symbols, certain words or phrases, certain colors, and maybe some abstract imagery, right? That's not really making much sense. but it's relevant to the spiritual journey that you're on, right? Because this is all about the long road, the long journey towards a specific outcome. And then with this, especially coupled with Kita, that's telling me you're embarking on a spiritual journey at this time. So I feel like whoever you're connected with at this time is a significant catalyst in your journey, right? There are some kind of support system, or they've been brought in by the divine to give you the gentle nudge to continue down this path, right? So that's really awesome. Great energy. So let's take a look and see what the signs are for these two cards, because they may come up in your environment and there may be something significant around that, some synchronistic event taking place at that time, some deeper message or meaning that's coming through from the divine. So let's take a look. Start off with Kita then. Let's see what's coming up here for you. Okay, so that's probably one of the first cards actually. Yeah, okay. So the energy for Kita is, it's found in spiritual epiphany, faith, and humility, right? Spiritual epiphany, faith, and humility. So that's what I'm saying. You having this conversation or having these types of conversations with someone specific is probably triggering a certain awareness, is triggering an epiphany, some kind of download that you're getting from the divine that catapults you into this spiritual journey, your true mission here, right? Where, you know, especially because he's got the staff and a robe, it's like, it really is that humility kind of, it's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like someone being of service, right? And I feel like that's what you're stepping into some kind of spiritual leadership role. You're starting the long road towards becoming a spiritual leader of some sort, a spiritual healer, a sage, something of that description, right? So awesome. That's really interesting. I wasn't expecting this for you, Gemini, as a reading, so this is awesome. Okay, so what about Remiel? Let's see what the signs are for his energy. Yeah, so for Remiel, it's a cane, which you can see here, the rising sun, which you can kind of see in the background, and a white dove, right? So a cane, the rising sun, a white dove. So you may see any of those symbols out in your environment in some form. Okay, so let's go over to the Moonology deck and see what other guidance we can get for you. But I understand why this is kind of triggering some fears, because you're being opened up spiritually. And of course, you know, as anyone will tell you, when you're having a spiritual awakening, because we go through certain levels of, you know, awakening and ascension, right, throughout our lifetime. So when you're going through that, it's intense, and yeah, it can be very scary, especially, you know, when you go through the first level. That's always the most potent. So yeah, I can understand why there'll be some fear and some anxiety around that, because it's a lot to process. But anyway, so from the Moonology deck here, we have, what do you need to release? Waning moon, right? So there's something that's coming up to be purged, to be released, to be transmuted, right? Because it doesn't serve where it is that you're headed. So perhaps you may have some kind of job, you may have some other kind of connection, you may have, you know, certain limiting beliefs, you may have certain ideologies, you may have a faith that is no longer in alignment to this awareness that you now have. So you're having to really take a close look at what you need to leave behind in order to pursue this new journey, right? Because some things are changing dramatically for you. You don't see things in the same way. You don't express yourself in the same way. The way you carry yourself is very different. Like it's a big change. So of course that does require certain things to be released, certain adjustments to take place, you know, things to be alchemized that are stemmed in pain and, you know, fear, right? So that's what you're being asked to look at this time, to help you move forward without being restricted by your own beliefs or thought processes, mindset or fears, right? So let's go to the tarot and see what comes up there for you. But to be honest, Gemini so far is looking really good. I'm liking this reading for you. Because yeah, you're on a significant journey here. It's no joke. So we'll see what else we can find out to help you with this. I saw this card come up while I was shuffling, so I'm not surprised it came out actually. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay, Gemini. So the first card you have here is the Queen of Wands in reverse, the Mother of Wands. So fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a fire sign. Could be a fire sign that you're communicating with, or you could have significant fire in your chart. But regardless, I feel like, you know, you're in a space where you're having to, like I said, recalibrate and reconsider. What do you consider to be important to you? What is, you know, of the same energy and frequency that you're now operating in or moving towards? There's a lot of things that you need to reflect on because, you know, especially with your fears, you know, being triggered, there's certain things that need to be processed, alchemized or released, right? So I feel like this is really a time of introspection for you. But it's also saying, you know, where have you perhaps been sabotaging your own spiritual growth through, you know, ego, right? So you're kind of having to look at that and be very objective with that so that you can transmute those egotistical traits. And I'm not saying that you're egotistical, but we all have, you know, certain behaviors that are rooted in ego. We all do, right? So that's where you're kind of being forced to look at so that you don't carry those behaviors, thought processes, actions moving forward, right? Because it would just work against what it is that you're stepping into. So you're recalibrating your ego essentially at this time. So you may have gone through an ego death or will be going through that very soon. Now, next card you have is the Daughter of Swords in reverse. So air energy, your energy, along with Libra and Aquarius. So yeah, I feel like you're done kind of like discussing it at this point. Like, of course, you're going to continue having this chat with this person, right? But I feel like at this point, it's more of a case of you're done kind of just exploring the idea and just conversing about it and just actually doing it, walking the walk rather than just talking the talk, right? Because before you perhaps, you know, you saw this person on their spiritual journey and you found it interesting and fascinating to watch their progression, watch the changes. But now you're realizing that it's your time to step up. It's your time to start to walk your individual path. Awesome. So the next card you have here is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, right? Earth energy towards Virgo, Capricorn. So yeah, I think you're kind of looking back on where perhaps you put your time and energy and focus into the wrong things that wasn't really bringing you the kind of stability and fulfillment that you were looking for, that didn't really give you that strong sense of abundance. Maybe you put all of your, you know, all of the emphasis on making it in life, on the material aspects of things, where now you don't really care about that so much. It's like, okay, yeah, having material things is nice, but I am now lacking what I feel to be the most important thing, and that's having a sense of direction, having a deeper purpose, a meaning to my life, right? So that's where you're kind of now taking very, very seriously. And you're like to the point where you're willing to even let go of some of these material assets, right? In order to pursue this path. So that's really, that says a lot about your spiritual growth. If you're at a point where you're ready to actually surrender those comforts, right? Awesome. So the next card you have is the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, sorry, no, it's not in reverse, in the upright. Two of Pentacles. So yeah, there is a little bit of hesitancy, like I said, because you're feeling very vulnerable. You're feeling like, oh my gosh, like it's a lot to take in. There's a lot to process here, and you're feeling like, you know, as much as you really want to pursue this path, as much as you know that your higher self is guiding you and supporting you towards this mission that you have, there's still that fear that tugs at you, right? So you're having to find the way to balance the shadow and higher self so that the fear doesn't actually full on just put on the brakes, right, and stop you from moving forward. So I feel like you're just trying to regain a sense of equilibrium where you don't feel like, you know, your fear is just overwhelming, or this excitement is just overwhelming to the point where it then ends up triggering your fear again, you know? So it's that back and forth seesawing kind of energy. So I think you're just trying to find some kind of equilibrium within that, so you feel confident, capable, steady, right, stable, and able to move forward with this very grounded energy. And then finally, as a potential outcome, you have the Death card in reverse, Scorpio energy. Could be dealing with a Scorpio or have it in your chart. But I feel like you're almost ready to make this significant step forward. You're still going through a bit of a metamorphosis. You're still doing some like shadow work. There may be some ego death coming up for you as well to help recalibrate the ego so you can fall away from, you know, the more shallow materialistic aspects of life, because you're being redirected to a spiritual path, right? So there's a lot of alchemy going on as well. So it's a process. You're not quite there yet, but you're being prepared so you can go through this huge transformation. It's already beginning, but it's not really kicked off yet. So yeah, Gemini, that's an awesome reading. The energy was very potent in this as well. So the message was just coming through very loud and clear. And yeah, hopefully this reading was clear for you too. So do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found it useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And don't forget the notifications bell. And yeah, I mean, this is like a significant life journey, right? So it's always empowering to see that, you know, certain people I'm tapping into are ready to take that next step. They are being prepared to go and explore their own divine path and what gifts they have to share with the world. So it's always very, very beautiful to pick up on that in the collective, because that's definitely what is needed at this time. So sending you so much love and luck on this journey, Gemini. I think you're going to do wondrous things. So just hold the faith in self, believe that the universe is supporting you at this time, and you will have nothing to fear. So all the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.